Hey, what's going on, everybody? Instructor Saul here. Today I wanted to make a video giving you a few helpful tips to help improve your form. Instructor Carlos and I have been receiving a lot of emails, Facebook messages, or Instagram messages that showcase you guys actually showing your form. Since we can't really come train and I miss you guys and I'm dying, I would like to make some videos that help you guys to better your form, to make it a lot stronger, to make it look as awesome as possible. These are going to be my personal, tips on how to do it, and some of the things that I give you are based on things that I have learned practicing, and some of the things that I have learned while watching someone else or being taught by someone else. So, aside from that, let's get to it! Alright guys, so let's start with forward stance. Alright, this is the easiest way we can start off so you can see. Alright, so when you do forward stance, one of the things that I personally like to do is snap my hip in place. Meaning whichever side that I'm on. Let's say if I start off with my right leg, I usually snap my left hip. Okay, so if I do forward stance without snapping, it'll look like this, right? It's my body straight in front of me, my forward stance is here. You don't really see much movement, right? So what I do when I do forward stance is I snap my hip, like I turn away and then I snap it right back. Okay. So when I do forward stance, usually when I do the form, you don't really see me turn like this and then turn. But for this video, I'll show you the exaggeration so you can see how it is I do it, alright? So from here, if I'm in 2B, right? Let's say I do forward stance, right? I turn here, lock in place. I don't want to overturn too much and I don't want to underturn here. You want to have your hip turn and your chest turn to face the front or whichever way your forward stance is. Alright, that's one of the easiest things you can do to help you set up for another, let's say, block or punch, and to help you look a lot stronger and have more power in your forward stance. You can do the same thing into walking stance. So let's say I want to do walking stance, right? I want to do here. If I do without the snap, it just looks like I'm stepping forward, right? But if you want to make it look a little bit more powerful, if I'm stepping, let's say, with my left leg forward, I snap my right hip forward. Okay, so if I'm here, I turn and then boom. Like I said, you don't want to overdo it, but just a little boom here. Okay, it's gonna take time for you guys to actually be able to do this without having, let's say, the signs going like this too much. It takes a lot of practice because you're not really used to the movement yet. So you're gonna have to practice a lot. That's what I'm saying. Alright, so I'll show you the side view. Let's say I do forward stance, okay? Forward stance. And then from here, this is my left leg. From here, I turn my right hip, okay? Watch. Boom. Strong forward, okay? If I do with my right leg, I turn my left hip. On here, and boom, okay? The trick to this is to make sure you actually do it as soon as you put your foot down, you turn at the same time. I'm slowing it down so you can see like this. But really, when you do it, if I'm in Chumbi, right? Or here. Let's start here. My hand here on my head. If I do it, okay? It's small, but you can still see how I go like this, right? It's so you can do it at the same time. Okay? This time you saw a little bit less. You saw me move, but it's a little bit less. So it kind of requires a lot of practice, and you have to time the way you have to time when you step and turn so that they match. Okay? So it almost looks like you're not really moving. It just seems powerful right there, like you're locking place. That's one of the things, alright? One thing you can do to help you practice this is actually put punches and blocks into it. The easiest ones are low block and punch. Those are the things that I go to a lot to make sure that I can actually do it while I'm doing the form. It's a lot of repetition. So, let's say a forward stance, for example, right? If I do forward stance, right? If I put my my left leg forward, I do low block with my left hand. Now, here, when you do low block, it's the easiest block you can combine with the snap because you're already turning. So when you go here, turn. I said turn twice. When you set up for a low block, right, your body is a little bit turned. I'm over exaggerating so you can see. Here, when I do low block, my body turns with it. You see? I turn here. See? My body turns. Okay? I don't just go like this. You want to combine your hip and the block at the same time. Obviously, like I said, I'm turning a little bit more, but it's just so you can see. So if I'm over here, watch. boom, strong. Straight power, bring this back, snap the hip, okay? Or let's say if you want to punch. Let's say I want to punch with the left hand. So I'm going to be here, I step, boom. Now when you punch, depending on what side the punch is, for the left, okay, you actually have to snap your left hip, okay? So like I just did it, you saw me go here, okay, here, and my left leg forward. It's not this way now. When you punch, you have to bring your left hand, or whichever hand is matching with whatever leg is in front. You have to bring that back, and you usually turn your shoulders a little bit. I'm over exaggerating so you can see, but you do the same thing, okay? Even if it's on the other side, you do the exact same thing you did with your hip on the right side, or if you don't have, like, let's say your knee bending on this side, or if your leg is back, you do the exact same thing. It's just gonna be a little bit, I guess, awkward, or different, or weird, but it's basically the same thing. So from here, boom, okay? Snap, punch, almost same time. Okay, so from here, what? Here, boom. Okay? Ideally, what you want is to step, snap, and punch or block all at the same time. If you can do that, then it's going to make your form look a lot stronger than what it actually is. So, let's say I'm going to do low block. This way, so you can see, right? If I do it one by one, it doesn't really look that strong. Even if I step strong, I snap strong, and I block strong, it will look cool, but it won't be as like strong as it can be. So even if I go, it's really not like a fluent motion. So for you to do it, you have to try really hard and practice a lot to step, snap, and block or punch all in one. So I'll do it one time so you guys can see. I'll do a couple times because it's cool when you do it. Look at this. That's one, okay? You see how everything turns and snaps all in the same place? Okay? One more time. Right from here, watch out. See? I look strong. That's one of the things that does help. On to the next tip! Okay, so we did snapping with forward stance and walking stance. Technically, walking stance and forward stance are kind of the same, even though we use more forward stance, but they're kind of the same. Now, another thing that you can actually do is you can actually use the same snap when you do back stance or tiger stance or horse stance. Yeah, it's the same thing. Although it changes a little bit. It's not as simple as just turning your hips and snapping. Okay? It's gonna be a little bit more complicated, but it's the same principle. So let's do back stance. Okay? Let's do back stance. So first, I'm gonna set up for back stance so you can see. Okay? This is my back stance. One of the things that makes this tricky is the fact that you're not actually turned all the way forward and you're not all the way sideways. You're kind of in the in-between. Like a 90, not even 90, I think this is like 45 or something. But you're not really, how should I put it, too straight, too flat. So it makes it a little bit tricky. The way I do, okay, my back stance, the way for me to, how to explain it? The way I do it to help me practice the snap is I do double knife hand chop. Okay, like this. Okay, this is what helps me. So I start off from here. But when I get to this position, I actually don't really rotate my hips too much. It's more of I throw my hips kind of, I guess, down. Does that make sense? Down and forward. Sounds weird, I know. When I do it, I kind of just do this. I throw it down and forward. What I mean by that is my hips go down, meaning I bend my knees. I try to drop my hips, but I keep my body straight. And when I say forward is I use my front leg to put pressure, like almost if I were to launch myself, but my front foot stops me. You know what I mean? It's not me going like this. It's almost like when you want to push yourself to something, kind of like that, but you stop yourself from pushing something with your front leg. I hope I explained that correctly, because it's a little bit easier to do than to show, if that makes sense. I guess because it makes sense to me, but I'm trying, okay? So, when you do it, okay, let's start off like this, okay, if I'm into me. When you do back stance, I'm stepping forward with my left leg, okay? If I step forward here, my hip goes down and forward. A little you don't want to turn too much. If you focus too much on turning, you'll actually not do as much power as you can when you do this one. Back stance is more of a sturdy stance. It's not really, well, they're all sturdy stances, but it's meant for you to hold your balance more on the back leg. So you're putting more pressure on this leg, so it's a little bit harder for you to turn. You're gonna hurt your knee. So what you want to do is step down, okay, down, bend your knee, and stop yourself and hands forward. What I like to do is tighten my stomach, okay, right on the point of impact here. When I do double here, I relax, relax, relax forward, boom, I turn here. My hands turn like this, like a snap. It's like me doing this, or this. Okay, so if I do it this way, my hands do like a snapping motion, like this. You see how my body doesn't really move that much? That's why it's a little bit harder, but that's what you want to have, okay? So if I'm here, I set up, my body turns a little bit when I'm sitting up, but when I step forward, mainly a snap here. Here, you don't tighten your core or your tummy. You relax, 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 tight. You see? It's the same principle as the last one. Meaning, you want to step, block or attack, and tighten, not tighten. Well, for this one, yeah, technically you do have to tighten, so I guess it does change a little bit. You want to tighten your stomach and not really turn your hip. You know what I mean? Man, hope I'm not making it sound confusing. I am sorry, but I am trying my best. So, for this one, technically, it's one step changes instead of your hip locking in place. It's actually your core being like hard, but your stomach is part of your hips, so I kind of, go with the same thing here, but it's part of your tummy. Let's leave it at that. Now, let's get back to this. When you do this, okay, you step forward. Right when you're about to drop your hips, you actually bend your knees a little bit more. So it goes like this. Okay, you see how they both bend? When I step forward, I do bend a little bit here, see? But when I step, I stop myself. Okay, you want to turn this leg a little bit, so it goes from being, I guess, straight, then it goes 45, and right when I'm going to land, it turns to straight. See? It turns, right? So from here, one more time. Slowly, then turn. See? This leg straight. Right in this position, your hand forward and tighten your tummy at the same time. Boom. Facing forward. Alright? This one requires definitely a lot more practice than the forward stance one, mainly because it's in a way it's an uncomfortable stance. I hope that makes sense. Yes. It's a little bit uncomfortable, this stance, than it is to do forward. Forward stance, I feel like you can practice a lot more because it's a little bit easier. But doing back stance, horse stance, or tiger stance, it's a little bit harder. This one thing I'm showing you for back stance, you can use it for horse stance, you can use it for tiger stance. Okay? I will show you how to do it in horse stance because I feel like that's the one that you're gonna be like, but how do we do that? I got it. So, I'm doing the sideways so you can see. Horse stance is when both of your legs are facing forward. Your legs are open a little bit more than your shoulder width, and your hands are here, and you're looking. I'm putting my hands here just for an example, but you're looking forward here, and you're imagining that you're like on a horse. Let's say you're not really on a horse, but you know what I mean. Okay. This is horse stance position. When your body's straight, you're holding your position, you bend your knees. This is horse stance. Horse stance, I like horse stance a lot mainly because it requires you to have balance on both your legs, and it looks cool when you do a position. Because movies, okay? The way I practice specifically horse stance, okay, is by throwing a punch. If you do brown belt, you know at the end it's punch. Okay, so I do it like this. What I like to do is, okay, if I'm here, I wind up for a punch from my hip, I step, and then I go boom like this. So horse stance. It's the same principle we were talking about in back stance, but this time you have a little bit of more hip movement than you do with back stance. Mainly because you have to be, flat and as straight as you can be. Okay? So if I slow this down, for back stance, all I did was this. Okay? For horse stance, my hip, I actually turn my hip back a little bit, like how we do in forward stance. I do that, and I turn it even more. So when I do this, okay, you see, I turn my hip the other way, my leg goes forward, and step, step, turn. See? Step, turn. That's how I do it. One of the things that does help you with back stance is actually your shoulder. Okay? Your shoulders actually help you a lot more. I want you to focus mainly on your hips, but your shoulders do take a big role in you doing a form or making it look strong. But I want you to focus on your hips first. Okay? Because I feel like that's the hardest and everybody has a hard time doing. So that's what we're going to focus on. So, one more time. And here, I turn, okay? I turn, step, turn, punch. Okay? If you can combine those three, just how I told you, with the forward stance, the hips, the blocker punch, and the leg stepping. Same thing for back stance. Same thing for horse stance. You want to combine all of these things to have them, like, to execute them at the same time. Okay? You don't want to do a 1, 2, no. Or you don't want to do a 1, 2, 3, no. You want to make sure that you do all of them at the same time. If you can, and you do it and you practice a lot, it's going to look really, really well. Or look really, really good when you do a form. It's going to look awesome. But it requires a lot of practice. Trust me. I know. So, one more time, okay? So I turn, I do punch because it's easier. I turn, step here, and boom. You see? Step, turn, boom. Same time. Okay? Now, that's one of the big things about this one. Now, let's move on to tiger stance. Tiger stance is a combination of horse stance and back stance in one. Because you're not technically doing back stance, but you're also not doing horse stance. But they apply, both of them apply to tiger stance. Tiger stance is when your foot is almost like back stance here, but you turn it a little bit, okay? Turn a little bit, right, of a degree, and you bring your leg forward, and you actually face forward. Not directly forward, but kind of like back stance, but a little bit more inward, okay? The easiest way to remember this one is brown belt. So if I'm doing brown belt, this way, okay? Here, okay? My shoulders are facing a little bit more forward. They're not actually facing like at an angle like a back stance. So for this one, is more on the core and on your hips combined than you turn. You don't really turn too much for this. The best way that I think I can show you would be to do brown belt. If I'm here, okay, let's say I'm gonna do brown belt. I turn, see, I turn like how I do in horse stance, okay? I turn and then I come back. I drop my hip down, but I don't actually move forward. I actually stay in place, okay? So I turn like horse stance and I go down like back stance. You combine both, okay? If you do that, okay, it makes your stance look a little bit stronger, a little bit more sturdier, and a lot more with confidence, okay? Back stance, not back stance. Tiger stance is a little bit harder, I think, because you also have to not just move your hips and your knees, or bend your knees, but you also have to bring your legs back, like to you. Back stance, I feel like it's a little bit more simple because you already know where your legs are going. Horse stance, also you know where your legs are going. Tiger stance, you also know where your legs are going, but you actually have to bring it back. So it's one more step that you actually have to do. So you have to do the block or the attack. You have to turn your hips. You have to bring your hips down, bend your knees, and you also have to bring your legs back to you. It's one more extra step than the other one, okay? Because you were doing 3 before, and this one is do 4. If I do this all in slow motion, okay? Let's say I'm starting to be, okay? If I do back stance, I'm trying to do it as slow as I can. If I do back stance, right, look, I'm bringing my leg back here, okay? And in this position, I'm already turning, bringing down my hips, and then forward. I can already do it because I practice it a lot. But if you have a hard time doing the other 3, this one's going to be a little bit more difficult. but nevertheless, nothing is impossible unless you train. So, in slow motion, okay, I'm gonna do inside block. This is easy to do. In slow motion, okay, in slow motion, watch. I open my hands, because that's just how dramatic I am when I do forms. But when I'm here, okay, open, watch. Leg, come, turn. This leg, like I said, is not like a full straight. It's more of a curve, okay? I'll bring the leg here, snap here, bend my knee, and boom. Okay? You have to try your hardest to get this movement down first. So you don't really want to start doing it right away, like trying to do all three of them at the same time. No. You want to do them step by step first. Understand each step. Okay? Set up. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's one. You get this side, you do the other side. Okay? You do 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Kind of like that. But this one is definitely a little bit more harder because you have to bend your knees. Also, if back stance and horse stance hurt, imagine how much this one actually hurts. Okay? Because you're not leaning forward, you're leaning actually back. Your foot is like barely touching the floor. It's just for show. So imagine that. But it's only as hard as you make it, meaning if you don't practice it a lot, it's going to be a lot harder for you. But it comes with practice. Don't get discouraged. I didn't learn this on the first time either. I was a stubborn kid. Well, I technically am still stubborn, but I was stubborn doing this when I was smaller or younger to make sure I had it unlocked. It took me a really long time, but I did it, okay? Nothing is impossible, and I'm still learning other things for me to progress, okay? So don't get discouraged. One more time, slowly, okay? If I'm here, boom, 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 okay? Now, if you do it fast, okay, do it kind of like this, okay? On one motion. You didn't even see me do my hip movement, did you? Exactly, I'm a pro. No, I'm just kidding. But that's what it looks like. One more time, one more time, one more time. I like how it looks. Ready? You see how I set up and I get ready? And then leg back. Now if I do it to the right, it'll say this. Okay? See? Nice and easy. If I'm here, 1, 2, easy. Well, not easy, but you know what I mean. Alright guys, so that was the few tips or the couple tips that I thought would be very beneficial to you to practice and to learn about. It was mainly about you turning your hip and your tummy than it was about anything else. I feel like turning your hips and your tummy, or like using your hips and your tummy, is a really hard thing to do because I see a lot of people struggle with it. That's okay, but I want you to practice this a lot first. If you can get like moving your hips and your stomach down really, really well, like making it tight and stuff, then it'll be a lot easier for you to learn all the other steps. Or the other tips, sorry, I don't know why I said that. There are a couple other more things that I would like to show you, but let's take it little by little first. First, we can focus on the hips, on the stomach, then after that we can focus better on how to chamber and get more power, how to turn your shoulders when you need to, things like that, alright? I don't know if this is a really short video or a really long video. I'm not sure, I have to edit it, but I hope this helps you guys. Please practice at home. I miss you guys, I'm still dying without you guys, but aside from them, if you have any questions or if you want to send us videos of you actually practicing these techniques and seeing for yourself how hard it actually is to move your hips, even though it's not, but you know, it kind of is. Please send it to our Facebook, our Instagram, or have your parents email it to us. Other than that, I miss you guys. I hope to see you guys soon. Stay safe, wash your hands, and stay happy. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!